Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back to my latest video. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and maybe even shady aspects of the record industry: cutout records. You've probably seen them before, those albums with a hole punched in the corner, a saw cut on the sleeve, or even a notch taken out. But what do they actually mean? Were they just a way to get rid of unsold records, or was there a bigger money-making scheme behind them? And more importantly, were artists getting rid of in the process? So buckle up, because today we're exposing the wild business of cut records and how some labels turned them into a secret cash machine. Let's get into it. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a cutout record? In the music industry, a cutout record is an album that has been officially marked as discounted stock by the record label. This was done to physically indicate that the record was being sold at a lower price and was no longer eligible for full price returns. Record stores couldn't send these back to the distributor for a refund, which means when it was in a bargain bin, it was there for good. These records were then sold at a much lower price, often at a special discount store, supermarkets, or even gas stations. Yep. Back in the day, you could grab a record while filling up your tank. But why did label do this? The original idea made a lot of sense. It was about reducing waste and recouping costs. Let's say an artist drops an album and it's a flop. The label now has thousands of unsold copies sitting in a warehouse, collecting dust and costing money. Instead of destroying them, the label marks them as cutouts and then sells them at a discount. That means the records get a second chance at life and the music fans get a cheap record. Win-win, right? Well, not so fast. This is where things get shady. Some record labels realized they could game the system and turned cutouts into a guaranteed cash grab. Instead of waiting for a record to fail before discounting it, some companies like Platinum Records skipped the regular retail process entirely and sent brand new records straight to the cutout bins. Why? Because they didn't have to pay for promotion, advertisement, or even artist royalties. They could just print the records, mark them as overstock, and sell them directly to cutout dealers. And here's the thing. These records weren't even failures. They never had a chance to succeed. And here's how the math worked. To manufacture a record back in the day, it was around $1.50 per record. Sold to cutout dealers was around $2 per record. So the profit margin about 50 cents per record without having to spend a dime on marketing, advertisement, or any kind of promotion. But wait, there's another sneaky trick. Records label got very generous credit terms from the manufacturers. That means they could sell these albums to cutout dealers before even paying for the manufacturing costs. And all we know in business, cash is king. And some labels even had literally trunks full of cash from these sales. While this was great for the record labels, it was terrible for the artists. If a new record was sent straight to the cutout market, it meant the artist had zero chance of getting a hit. No radio play, no promotion, nothing. They also didn't get paid royalties on these resold records since cutouts were considered dead stock. And worst of all, it damaged their reputation. Because if your album ended up in the bargain bin, people assumed it was a flop. Today, cutout records are collectors' paradise. Some of these records are now super rare because, like I said in the beginning, no promotion, no nothing. They were dumped directly into the clearance bins, and many of them, at least 20 years ago, were in mint conditions since nobody bought them back in the day. So next time you see a record with a cutout mark, don't pass it up. You might be holding a hidden jewel. So in my humble opinion, cutouts were a great invention and a great idea for record labels to get rid of overstock and for people to find a cheap record. But it was also a perfect playground for labels to run a cash grab at the expense of the artist. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. In my humble opinion, cutouts were a great idea for the environment and also for the record labels to get rid of overstock and for the customer to get a cheap record. But on the other hand, you kind of get the impression that record labels, not all of them, but at least some, were always looking for a loophole to cash in without paying royalties to their artists, just to cash in as much as possible for the time being. If you liked that video, I highly suggest that you check out the playlist appearing here, and I catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.